Welcome to another episode of Puro Pinche Sports. I'm your host, Jose Garza. Tonight, my co-host today is Alex de la Cruz.
What's
Oh,
up, Mike?
buddy. Oh, buddy. We got some football to talk about. And of course, I'll be talking about UFC 270 later. But my God, let us just tell me how you felt this weekend after watching four fantastic games.
It was awesome, man. Didn't even know. I didn't even know what to expect. Those games were probably once in a lifetime. All four games came down to one score. That is crazy. Three of them came down to a field goal, and then of course the last one was probably you're never gonna see ever again.
Would you honestly say that was probably the best game we're gonna have, even compared to whatever the matchup is gonna be for the Super Bowl, or just
Oh,
like this year?
that was our Super Bowl right there. I wish we could have seen that in the Super Bowl. That would have been awesome.
Hey
That was
man,
awesome.
hey man, there's some potential matchups. I'm just saying, there's potential matchups that in the past have had happened before, and they were great too. So we'll get
So
into that
yeah,
later.
yeah.
We'll get into that in just a bit. Man, I feel the same way though. I mean, Jesus. Let's kick it off right away, though. The Cincinnati Bengals visiting the Tennessee Titans, who coming off a bye. Return of King Henry. What went wrong, in your opinion, for the Tennessee Titans? Honestly,
I honestly think it was a lot of turnovers. They shot themselves in the foot a lot. The Titans defense kept them in the game. I mean, they sacked Joe Burrow 9 times. Uh, Joe Burrow just made one more play than they did. I mean, but to me, I still think the Titans should have won that game. But I mean, it goes to say that the Bengals are they're hot right now. They're going into the playoffs hot, and they're still hot right now. So they deserve the win. So
was there a
my opinion.
scheme? Was there a scheme or something that they could have done
Mm,
differently?
no, I actually like the way they used Derrick Henry. They did a lot of play action. So like when they load up the box, I was seeing that they were taking their shots with AJ Brown, who had a good game, and they were exposing them, and I kind of like that scheme. Them thinking, okay, Derrick Henry is back. They're probably gonna give him the ball a lot more. Let's load up the box. And then the way the Titans OC, saw that, he's like, well, let's do play action against that. I think that was a good game plan, but like I said, maybe Derrick Henry could have got a little bit more carries. But I don't even think he broke a big one. Actually, I think his backup actually had like a 33-yard run in the game.
Oh,
So
we did have Dante Foreman just go off
yeah,
for a 45
yeah,
yard run, and then what is it? The play after he got picked,
yeah.
so like
Yeah,
Tannehill got
that
picked. So
was
just
that was that was a good play by that defensive player. So that was good. That was a good defensive play.
what is it about Joe Burrow? Watching him from LSU all the way down to the pros, even coming off a year where he was injured with multiple ligament injuries. What about him is so special that he is bringing out a Bengal team that nobody thought should be here to all
Well,
the AFC Championship game.
but it all starts with him at Ohio State. He's always had a chip in his shoulder throughout his whole career. Like being over there in Ohio State, he was behind a couple good quarterbacks there. He transferred to LSU. Nobody's didn't. I know a lot of people didn't know who he was going into LSU up until he had that remarkable career in LSU. But but he's always had a chip in his shoulder, and it looks like he's always have ice in his veins. He's never I guess he's never how do you say, like, I want to say he's always calm under pressure, I would say, and nothing's too big for him, and he's proven that even though getting knocked down 9 times in the Titans game, and then coming off their injury the way he had this year, and a lot of people are still saying that they should have went O line. I still say they should have went O line because it might hurt him in the long run because he's getting knocked out pretty hard. Some of the plays you're like, man, how's he getting up from that? But he's a warrior, so they got himself a good quarterback. That's for
That
sure.
If they could get all of the first round picks the Eagles had this year, that would be great, and get themselves a
Yeah,
new O line. Because
they
my
need a old
gosh,
line.
for sure, man. And just overall, my last question on this game, because I know we have three more even better games to talk about. You have an AJ Brown who went for 5 catches, 142. Julio Jones even went off for 6 catches and
Yeah.
62 yards. Is Randy Tannehill the guy?
Man. Uh, he's done what they've asked for him to do, which is manage the game. When you're in that type of offense, but with all those when all those free agents coming up at the quarterback, why not go get a big name? You know, Aaron Rodgers may go, or Russell Wilson's up there, so maybe even Jimmy Garoppolo. Who knows? You know, this is the time to get yourself a quarterback. And if I was the Tennessee Titans, I would, because the way it looked like this Saturday, I think he was the one that held them from not
He,
winning
he
the game.
cost he cost them.
Yeah,
Now there was that one interception, the one that was so close to touch the ground. What did you think of that one? Was that a turnover, or was that an incomplete pass?
that was an incomplete pass.
I
It hit
actually
the
agree with
ground.
you.
Yeah, that
I
was.
agreed.
But I'm not the one to expect to like say, maybe it was kind of rigged or not. But like, everybody saw that.
Well, even at that, like think about it too. Like that is that's not is that enough for you to cost you the game? Like, I mean, yes, they put
Mm.
points on the board on it, but you had the entire time the defense did their job. I
Well,
mean,
well, not even that, because I think the Titans after that still had a chance to drive to win the game, and he threw a pick,
yeah, another
and
one.
then yeah, and then Cincinnati got good field position and set up a game winning field goal. So
It's rough, man, because you see the Titans who they grinded all year long. They got first place. They got the first round bye. They got King Henry back, and ran for 60 plus yards and only 20 carries, but was doing what he could, right? Just
yeah,
after an 11-week layoff. And just to see them fall, but props to the Bengals, man. I know we didn't have the Bengals. A lot of us, like, I was back and forth depending when Henry's health, but like we didn't have like much going on for the Bengals, and
no,
just
I
props
know
to
I didn't.
props to them, man. Just going
Yeah.
off 348 yards passing, an interception, but to get sacked 9 times, I mean, Jesus, give him a break. All right, Alex, let's go ahead, man. Let's talk about the main event of Saturday. I know you've been itching to
Oh
talk about this
man,
one. I know you've been itching to talk about this one, bro.
it feels so good.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know, which I don't know why you don't know, unless your name is Patrick Starr and you live under a rock, the 49ers upset the Packers at home 13-10. Alex, what went wrong for A-Rod and the Packers?
Oh man, shoot, I honestly think it was just scheme wise. I don't know. Uh, the first drive, it looked like Devontae Adams was gonna have a career game, and after that they went silent. You can't really say well the defense messed it up.
They
You
didn't.
had the defense held them to 0 touchdowns. It was the special teams that
Mhm.
cost them the game. But even if they're Aaron Rodgers, you have to score more points than that. And I get it.
He's
Uh,
got to score points. He didn't throw a
yeah,
touchdown.
yeah,
It
I
was all
know.
A.J. Dillon.
So it to me, I'm a Bears fan, so like I love whenever Aaron Rodgers fucks up. And then the way it ended was so awesome because Robbie Gold, good as gold, he used to play for the Bears, and man, and then Jimmy Garoppolo at the end, who played his college ball in East Illinois, Eastern Illinois,
Yep.
and the way fuck the Packers. Yeah, you should everybody that's like in the Midwest area was hitting up my phone fuck my brother called me from Chicago and telling me like man it was great to see because everybody was so happy, or
It
at least
was
all the Chicago fans.
it was insane, man. I mean, what a knock on such a bipolar year for Aaron Rodgers. It's just like you throw for 225. You get sacked 5 times. I mean, that 49er defense is so underrated.
That's what
So underrated.
that's exactly what I was gonna say. Everybody was saying Aaron Rodgers had a bad game, but let's give the credit to the 49ers defense. After after giving up a first drive touchdown, going back to the sideline, sticking to what they wanted to do, and they ended up on top. Got to give respect to the
It,
49ers defense.
it's just insane, man, because these guys, they're not getting all the credit. I mean, even though they're the ones literally carrying this team back from the depths. Look at them. They were 17-0 down against the Rams week 18, came back and won in overtime. Grinded last week to freaking just upset the Cowboys. It's just, come on, man.
Yeah,
Like Dak, the weapons in Dallas were so far superior than what the weapons are in Green Bay, in my opinion.
yeah,
And
they
just to
are.
see the way they shut them down, and if it isn't for a Jimmy G interception and his mistake, they don't get that score closer to what it is. And then give it granted back the defense, special teams. I mean, my God, they won the game, right? I mean, the offense
Mm.
produced 6 points, but I mean, barely, right? Like,
Yeah,
the rest is
it
the
was a
defense,
struggle.
special teams. Yeah, like overall, like, now let me ask you this, because we know, like, when the game started, it was like green as fuck on the field. It was still nice. It wasn't like, and then at the end in the second half, it was more sleet, more
Yeah,
icy. How big of a factor, you as a former player, um, is that for you,
I mean,
conditions wise?
condition wise, it's always harder to play when it's below zero, or even when it's cold. The ball gets a little bit more slick, and especially when it's snowing. You got to change your cleats. You got to make sure everything's good, because once you're coming off that route, you could even see. I think Randall Cobb came off his route. He didn't come crisp off a route.
Nope.
I think he went. I think he did a 5 yard art route, but he did it so slow. But that should be an advantage for Aaron Rodgers, because the pass rush ain't going as fast, because they don't want to come off their, come off the line really fast, because they'll slip. So I kind of was like, well, this should be the time where Aaron Rodgers is going to catch fire. It's usually when he does these type of games, when it's icy, slick like that. So
Do
I
you
was kind of surprised.
are you just are you? I know you said it, you're a Bears fan. You love when the Packers lose, but are you surprised they only ran the ball 20 times in this weather?
Yeah, I mean, this is the perfect this type of weather is where you want to give it to your back at least like 30, 40 times, and then mix in some play actions there. I did see that they did that, but I feel like they were under pressure more, because they wanted to score as
It
much as
didn't,
they can, and
and
they feel like they were phased.
it didn't make sense because the majority of the game
Yeah,
you're up the whole time.
yeah,
Like legitimately, you are up 7-3 going into the fourth. You're up and you're winning, and so it just doesn't make sense, in my opinion, that Aaron Jones runs 12 times. AJ Dillon runs 7. Now he got nicked up, so
yeah.
I
He got
understand
up.
if you got to put him to the side, you don't want to hurt him. He's a bright future for that young man. But Aaron Jones is like there. I haven't heard anything about an injury or anything that this former like all pro worthy player is just like all of a sudden not getting the touches that he should. You got Aaron Rodgers, but put in some more Aaron Jones, in my opinion.
But I think the AJ Dillon situation with him getting hurt did play a factor, because AJ Dillon is a bigger back, and that's who you want to give it to in these type of weather. Give the bigger guy the rock, and make him run downhill the whole game. So,
And
but I think it did play a factor.
how crazy is it to you the also and I'm putting more stats on this, is that now Aaron Jones was used a key factor as the pass catching back, right? Like he got 129 for 9
Yeah.
catches, especially that big long one that we saw for 75 yards before he got taken down. Um, what happened overall in the game plan? What Matt LaFleur is out coach himself.
I think he got into his head a little bit. You know, I think he felt the pressure with the crowd. Um, he knew that their team wasn't doing what they were supposed to, especially with the 6C 49ers. Granted, I mean, the 49ers are hot, like I said, but still, you expect more. I think the fans expected more than what they saw on Saturday night.
Well, Marquez Scantling was out, but the fact that Alan Lazard caught one catch for 6 yards. Randall Cobb got no catches. Everything was Devontae Adams or Aaron Jones, and
Yeah.
it's not. It's just it didn't make sense to me looking at the game. Now let me ask you, because we're gonna talk about the next game, the Niners' next matchup. Do you see Jimmy G somehow upsetting their opponents next week again? Because they've already beaten them twice this season, twice.
I'm gonna say yes. He's done it before. I like the underdog story. I've always have. So yes, I hope Jimmy G, gets his shot. He's gonna get a shot against the Rams and does it again,
Yeah.
and to shut the naysayers up. But it's a different defense now over there though. Way
It's
different
not
defense.
it's not as good as it was 2 years ago, but
No, it's not. But
it's very underrated, and they're doing what
yeah,
they need to do. Hey, but now let's talk about the next matchup. Now the NFC runs through LA. It runs
yeah.
through LA because the Rams upset the champion Buccaneers. Bro, you looked at the game, you see the start going into 27-3, bro. You're like, it's almost over, but you know who's
I
on the other side. What were your thoughts when everything transpired?
I was like, is anybody gonna cover Cooper Cup? You know where the ball's going to. Double team the man, do something. But I mean, granted, they did try to double team him in the beginning of the game, and it wasn't working. And maybe they were trying to do some other stuff, but uh, man, they were up. So I thought, man, Tom, that's it. But having Tom Brady on the other side, but I do tell you, Tom Brady had probably one of his worst games in the playoffs. He didn't.
Oh,
He didn't.
yes.
He didn't. Like I texted you, he didn't look like he had enough zip on the ball. He wasn't throwing it hard. I thought he was maybe hurt. The defense kept him in the game. I honestly think they kept him in the game, and then the Rams, pretty much shot themselves in the foot with
Bro,
a lot of, yeah,
you compared him to Eli. That hurt me
yeah. No, I
hearing you
mean,
say that.
I
That
mean,
was that was ugh.
maybe not Eli the
Oh
last,
God.
this last season, but like before the decline, before maybe Daniel Jones went to New York, it looked like Eli didn't have any zip in the ball, and it looked like um Tom Brady. There was one where I think Gronk, he was open for a little bit whenever he ran a post,
Mhm.
a post to the corner, and I was like, oh, he has him, and he didn't get it there. He didn't have enough zip on the ball, and the safety just broke it up. I'm like, man, that's a touchdown. The younger Tom Brady makes a touchdown there. I was like, damn,
Yeah.
it didn't look like even in a couple out routes he didn't even throw them. I was like, man, what's wrong? But
Tom
I think shoot, man, he's just it looks like he was tired.
and man, there's talks about him really mulling retirement after this season. But let's talk about the Rams real quick. The winners of this matchup. Matthew Stafford. You being a Bears fan, you had to see Matthew Stafford twice a year for 12 years. Um, you've seen what he's gone through with the Lions, and Lions is a trash organization. Let's just be honest; it just really is. They've never taken care of that well enough. You had Jim Caldwell; he was actually winning games, and you fired him, and for what? But now you see Matthew Stafford now. How do you feel about him now that he's with the Rams, now that he's showing what he's got, now that he has a team around him?
Obviously he's a divisional rival, but I'm actually really happy for him. He's been putting up those numbers since he got into the league. Nobody really gave him credit. I mean, his teams were never good. I think he made it to the postseason maybe once or twice in Detroit. He
Mhm.
never won a playoff game, but he's always had that kind of arm, and he's always had an arm talent, and he's never really had a team around him. And it's good. It's good to see a good guy, in the league. He's one of the good guys, and it's good to see him, succeed in LA. And I think whenever he went to LA, whenever they signed him, I was like, man, that's a good pickup. He's gonna have a field day over there in LA. A lot of weapons.
Yeah, man, for sure. And then what if Sean McVay almost cost themselves a game? Or was it the defense, or what was it something else? Who was responsible for allowing the Bucks to come back?
Cam Akers, Jesus. The first thing you learn when being a back, if you're gonna carry the ball or even a receiver, and you're up,
Mhm.
the first thing they tell you, keep two hands on the ball And if you feel like you feel hands on you, fall, fall. And I think he was just trying to do too much. He was trying to pick up a first down. I get it. He wants to be the guy that picks up a first down and lets the time, get the time going down. That way you don't see Tom Brady get back on the field. But if you already fumbled once, and you know what they're gonna do, keep both hands on them, man. So
Well, what was your thoughts when you saw that Brady fumbled and then the next play the fucking center just overshots it on Matthew
oh my
Stafford?
god. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. You can't make this stuff up, man. Tom Brady's like, damn, there goes my season. And then, oh shit, right? As soon as he's about to sit down, oh, I got another shot.
It,
And you don't want to you don't want to give that man another shot. He's done. You know what? His track record is, it says it for itself. You don't want to give that man another shot.
and left them in a better position than it was prior to that too. So that was just even more
Yeah,
insane. Oh man, look, as a Tom Brady fan, as a guy who's followed him because I'm a New England Patriots fan, it's disheartening to see the times like these where he plays so sluggish that he doesn't play like himself, the best Tom Brady that he can get. Because I mean, even last week, Tom Brady wasn't sluggish; he was still doing his thing,
yeah.
just getting the ball around. And you can't. I get it. Chris Godwin was out. AB got himself fired. Most of the roster was out on injury, but I mean, we've seen teams not struggle this badly and be even worse conditions. I mean, it was insane. Now, fuck it. I thought the Rams were about to choke it. I really did, but just
Me
that
too.
fact but just the fact that you left Cooper Cup alone again in two back-to-back plays. He set them up perfectly. And Matt, you saw the hustle of Matthew Stafford say, "Get your fucking ass over here, get to the line, hurry up!" Like just yelling at his team so that way everyone gets in the line and sets up that game-winning field goal. This team is rallying behind Matthew Stafford, but I mean, give the MVP is Cooper Cup in my opinion.
Yeah, Cooper.
Cooper Cup
Yeah,
is the MVP. Fuck Rodgers, love Brady, but fuck him too. Fuck Jonathan Taylor. It is Cooper Cup. That man, Triple Crown. He deserves the flowers. He is not talked about enough. And I get Pro Football Focus has him the number 2 wide receiver. No, he's right now this year. What he did, he's number 1. All right. Overall, now that we know that the Rams and the Niners meeting up for the third time, Alex, the third time, not just long ago, we just saw them play against each other in LA. What are your thoughts, man? Is San Francisco going to upset? Are they going to do it, or is the Rams going to keep home front since they sold all the tickets to only LA residents? And how is it going to go down?
man. I'm kind of stuck between two guys, man. I like Jimmy G. I like Stafford. Man, it's just they've both been underdogs their whole career. Nobody Jimmy G, behind Tom Brady, New England, coming to San Francisco, getting hurt, going to a Super Bowl, and then getting
Get
hurt
hurt again.
again. Yeah. So I want to see him. I want to see him go to the big game again, and then of course nobody has seen Matt Stafford do this much in the playoffs. So I kind of want to see him too. But either way, I don't know. I'll be happy to see either or. But I'm rooting for San Francisco. They are the 6th seed. Nobody, no, everybody came into the season saying the Rams are going to be one of the teams. Nobody came into the season saying San Francisco's they're going to be a good team.
I will say Art did. Art in his predictions did say the
Oh,
Niners will
and
win the Super Bowl. So to be
I
fair,
I put them in this. I put them in the 6th and 7th seed, but I didn't predict them to go this far.
yeah, I think Art had divisional winners and then going to the Super Bowl, um but a props to the Niners for getting it even this far, just back to the NFC Championship game, because that's a tough job to do. First of all, just to like get back into it all, especially when you've had injuries plaguing you, especially when you've had a lot of things holding you back. Yeah, he had them over the Bills. I'm looking up his predictions right now. Uh, he had him as a 5th seed too. He had. Sorry, I don't want to mess this up right now. No, 1st seed. I don't even know. I don't know. It's just confusing. So, anyways, man, I'm gonna go with the Rams. The acquisition of Von Miller, the
Oh,
acquisition
that's
of
a big key.
Odell Beckham Jr. especially in the time when we didn't know that Robert Woods was going to be out. Such a big factor. Like Odell, OBJ is telling you it wasn't me,
I
Cleveland.
was
It
about to say that. Yeah,
wasn't
I was about to
me.
say.
Oh man, and just Von Miller coming in to help, Floyd, to help Donald, to help Jalen Ramsey, who he got burned. Okay, he got burned 1-on-1.
Yeah.
He got burned. He got burned. In that one. But Mike Evans is an elite. He's also underrated in my opinion. He does not get
Yes,
enough
he
flowers
is.
in my opinion. All right, main event time. Main event of the weekend for football. The Buffalo Bills visiting the Kansas City Chiefs.
Oh wait, hold on. Are we missing one? Who else played Sunday? Oh no, that was it, right?
That was it.
No, yeah,
Thought you were gonna go with something like
yeah,
that. No, so those are Bills, the Chiefs. They played that. They went at it. They made it like you said. Your Super Bowl matchup, my Super Bowl matchup, all of our Super Bowl matchups. That was the game. And shit, I think a lot of us thought the Rams and Bucks probably stole the weekend at the time. And then
yeah.
the fucking Bills and Chiefs came in and said, "Fuck them, bitches. We're here." Give me your thoughts, man. Give me your thoughts on that fucking matchup. That wasn't even for a championship.
I think the first couple, like everybody was just getting a feel for the game, you know, and I think the fourth quarter was just, man, the last couple of minutes was just holy shit. Are we ever gonna see this again? But I like the way they use Josh Allen. They use his feet, using him as they did a lot of QB blasts, a lot up the middle with him, stretches. I'm like, damn, they're really putting it on him, on his shoulder. And both, I want to say, both quarterbacks were extending plays. I think Patrick Mahomes,
They both ran
uh
for 68,
yeah,
69 yards respectively, Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes.
Patrick Mahomes, man, the whole time he was back there like, get his ass. I want to see the Bills in the Super Bowl, but I was like, man, get his ass. But I was like, man, you have to like be in awe, like, damn, this is a man right here, it's a man child. But it was a great game. Do I want the playoff rules to change? I'm in 50-50, but I kind of want to say yes because the NFL ruined us from seeing probably another
I'm gonna tell you,
great
man. No,
performance.
I disagree. I disagree. You know what? You know what? Could have gotten the Bills to the Super Bowl if the fucking defense stops them in 13 damn
Yeah,
seconds.
yeah,
How about a squib kick? How about a squib kick to take
or
out
sky
three or four?
kick.
Yeah, 4 seconds. That's come on. Shorten the time. Like the
I
Chiefs had less time than the Cowboys did to do a fucking
I get it,
QB draw.
but
Like,
but if
damn.
we go back a couple years ago, the Chiefs are in the same boat whenever
Yes, they play the
whenever
Patriots.
when they played the Patriots, and I bet a lot of people wanted to see, man, let's see a young guy, a young gun, see if we go toe to toe in the playoff in overtime,
I
but we didn't
I
get,
un-
we didn't get a chance. So
I understand. Like I understand that completely. Like we should probably
yeah,
maybe give them a chance, but no, these are the rules going into the
I think
game. I know, like future we
yeah, I
want to
think
maybe the Chiefs offered like they wanted that. They even requested the following off season. They were rejected. Look, at the end of the day, every team that goes to overtime, if you don't get the chance to get the ball, you lose. I mean, it just happens. The Patriots had it this season with the Cowboys. Like I didn't complain about it. The Bills would have celebrated the same way as the Chiefs had they won. They would have said,
yes, that
"Fuck
yeah,
y'all!" Like so. At the end of the day, you have the. This, I was talking about this all night last night. Coaching, defense, special teams cost them the matchup. Terrible coaching on the play calls, the defensive coordinator, on just to allow Hill and Kelsey to go off in two
I
plays to get about what 50 yards down the field. It's just bruh, like come on. And then not to especially Sean McDermott, you are a defensive minded coach. You don't know how to waste the clock down, how to get those seconds off the clock on the kickoff. Like yes, you just scored, but anything could happen. And look what happened. It's just insane. And then so unprepared for overtime. Of course the defense is exhausted. They've been going back and forth nonstop, and it's over.
The
Milano
same,
cannot keep up with Kelsey.
the same can be said about Kansas City. I mean, on a kickoff return where I think Tyreek Hill or on a punt return where he almost breaks one and he gets tackled by the kicker. And I remember texting him like, "Man, that's a big tackle right there,"
It was a
because
big
they ended up stopping. They ended up getting him to a field goal, which
Yep.
only kept the game. They only kept the game to 6 points, where them scoring a touchdown could have got the game to 10, which honestly would have probably not. We probably wouldn't even seen this great
But do you not
game
hold
going
that
to
to a more
overtime.
pedestal, more to a
Yeah,
team that was ranked number one in points, ranked number one in defense, one ranked in points allowed against from the opposite team? Like the Bills, and this is the same Bills that fucking curb stomped the Patriots the week
yeah,
before. Mind you, yes, the Chiefs did to the Steelers, but we talked about the Steelers are just ass at that point. The Bills all year long for all this to happen and then to shut it down. And I know bro, a performance from Josh Allen, the way he fucking balled. Like he went God mode himself. Well, along with Patrick Mahomes, they both went God mode. Gabriel Davis getting 4 touchdowns, over 200 yards catching. Stephon Diggs shut down, and he was covered very well by Ward. I would respect Ward for his defense's performance because he fucking made sure Stephon Diggs cannot get loose. His only fucking big contribution to the game, Diggs, was a 2-point conversion. But just everything was lined up for the Bills. The first drive, you fucking go for it every fourth down and you get the score. You're aggressive as fuck. The Chiefs counter, they do the same thing, right? And then you just stay silent for most of the freaking game until you get the ball and you score right before half. Overall, who is real to blame in this one?
um, Bills. I honestly they could have had like
Right,
I
right,
texted you.
right. But who, like the defense, the coaches, who's like
Mm,
your focal point, like in this one? Because I'm gonna go with the coaches.
yeah,
Now,
you have to go with the coaches because the whole game, they were playing. They were giving them to me. It looked like they were giving them the middle of the field. Not the safeties were every time the play would develop, the two safeties will always go over the top to take away the sidelines, and then the linebackers came a big play in that because they were getting stuff stopped in the middle. But I always to me it looked like, man, they got to attack the middle. They got to attack the middle, and they weren't taking as much shots as I wanted them to just is what I wanted to see. So not maybe they didn't want to do it too aggressively. Where like maybe if we do it too aggressively, they'll take it away, and we can't go back to that. But I don't know. You have to blame it on the coaches.
bro, the game came down to also like we're forgetting how important this was. Butker, the kicker for the Chiefs, missed a field goal and an extra point. I mean, he awarded the Bills getting off, and you're not worrying about an extra 4 points. Like you have to take advantage of these moments. I don't know. I know that we're gonna have Josh Allen versus Patrick Mahomes for the next like 10 years, right? We're gonna get that rivalry there, the new Manning Brady,
That's what
um,
exactly what I was. That's what
right?
exactly what I was saying whenever I went to bed last night. Man, it's like Peyton and Tom.
And I mean, these are younger guys who have legs. Like those, like they don't like they're better. They're evolved versions,
Yeah,
like not to the pocket passer greats. The Chiefs did it, and all of us except Marco had the Bills winning. And I think it was we all had a fair scoring matchup. I don't know about you. You actually had it by 10 point difference. I was like, you fucking loco.
yeah. I actually had him
but
by 10.
but overall, now we're gonna see the Bengals. We're gonna see the Chiefs and Arrowhead once again. And just what are your thoughts, man? Because we saw this matchup week 16. The Bengals were able to come up on top. The Chiefs had kind of their way in the first half that matchup, and then the second half it was all Bengals. Overall, what are your thoughts on this rematch? Are we going to see the Chiefs coming out on top, or we're going to see the Bengals?
Well, the Chiefs defensive line or their pass rush is if they could get to a Burrow, they'll obviously win the game. But But I've heard a lot that maybe the Kansas City Chiefs is not as good as their defensive line is not as good as the Tennessee Titans line. And I mean, Tennessee is all right, but they're middle of the pack. They got to Joe Burrow 9 times, like I said. But I mean, Kansas City is not even their defense is not like Tennessee's defense, and they're middle of the pack.
Could you
So
could you argue that they're actually not that bad because they were actually getting very close to Josh Allen, even forcing a fumble. Like they were getting to him, like they
oh
pressured
yeah.
him to get to the outside to make the plays happen with his feet. But like I don't know, like we got the acquisition of Melvin Ingram, man. When they got him, it changed
Yeah, it
something.
elevated their defense.
And let's be honest, like the fact that they did the game without Honey Badger after the first drive, it was just a what's Sorensen? Can we talk about that? We're not attacking Sorensen enough. Like, tell me, like, what are you thinking when you're not going after Sorensen?
They're doing. Can I tell you that Kansas City is doing a good job of disguising what they can't do, which is
They're
Sorensen
flaws.
can't really cook. Yeah, which is putting him in a good position. You know, because we all know that Sorensen gets burned. We all seen those pictures where the honey badger's looking back at him, like what is he doing? But Kansas City is putting him in the right position. Maybe that's why it's kind of hard to attack him. Going to like mixing to zone, putting him on the edge, putting him in the box. So it's kind of hard to go after him whenever he's in the type of scheme where they hide him.
It's just insane to me, man. It's just like you have to like Sorensen's there, bro. Like I get he's like their only option for there because they got their safeties is just a bad shit right now. If it's Honey Badger, it's a huge decline after that. Do the Bills recover from this?
I say they do. They still got Josh Allen, but their offensive coordinator can't maybe he's gonna leave. He's getting a lot of offers
Both coordinators
to
are. Both coordinators.
yeah.
Leslie Frater,
So
I forgot the other coordinator's name. I'm sorry.
so maybe the offense changing, but you'll definitely see new coordinators there in Buffalo, but they're still in good hands. They still have maybe run the ball a little bit more in the beginning of the year. I don't know, to keep some pressure off Josh Allen. Making sure he's a lot maybe healthier going into the playoffs next year. But they're in good hands. I still think they're up there for next year.
And let me ask you this before we move, go on with the because I don't think we said again the predictions. We're supposed
No,
to. Stephon Diggs, disappointment or was it really good defense?
you expect him to do better because he's an elite receiver,
3 catches for
but
7 yards.
but they did a good job of covering him, having a lot of help over the top, and then whenever he did his in breaking routes like a slant, the linebackers were there to cover that up. That's why you saw a lot of Josh Allen rolling out whenever he didn't see Stephon Diggs. That's where Cole Beasley came in and
Gabriel
yeah.
Davis,
Yeah, I don't even think we gave Cole Beasley a good. I mean, he came in. He
660
had a couple.
yards. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he did what he had to do. His name was he got his. They asked him to do more in this game where Stephon Diggs wasn't there, but I think you give this more to the Kansas City defense than Stephon Diggs. Because Stephon
Well, I mean,
Diggs did not perform good, but Kansas did a good job of getting him out of the game.
Emmanuel Sanders got shut down too. This
Yeah,
it
yeah,
wasn't.
he wasn't
I
in the
mean,
game most of the time.
and then Dawson Knox was just 2 catches, 9 yards. It's just like the names that you expect, like maybe to
Yeah,
pop up, it just didn't happen. And let me ask you about Gabriel Davis's future. Very, very unknown. Like he was wide receiver 4 coming into the season. Did you see him stepping up and being the number 2 guy behind Diggs? Like especially after like this kind of season where he kind of blew past the Patriots defense, he blew past the Chiefs defense. I mean, do you see Davis having a bigger role on this team next season?
yeah, absolutely. I honestly thought getting Emmanuel Sanders, I thought he was going to be like, okay, then now Stephon Diggs has his number 2, but he didn't perform that well this year. And then Cole Beasley didn't really. Cole Beasley's always like maybe slot receiver number 3,
Mm,
but he absolutely he should get another chance there in Buffalo to be the number two. He showed what he did. You saw what he did to New England, and then yesterday, you know, yeah. Why wouldn't he be
Cole
number two?
Beasley is a really good slot receiver, man. Like he's there when you need him, especially like in situations like last night and how you mentioned very big games. Even the Cowboys, even they had him for very big important spots. They just felt very unappreciated there. Um, we'll
He's a
see, man.
reliable receiver.
Yeah, exactly. He's not an Edelman. He's not a Wes Welker. He's not these other slotters. He's not Debo. He's not.
No,
He's not AJ Brown. He's not these guys. But he is a big contribution to that Bills team, regardless of what you think about his vaccination status. All right. Once again, I'm gonna ask you: Bengals, Chiefs, who wins?
man, this is you. It's David versus Goliath, I think. Big time. But like I always go for the underdog. Uh, I don't, this is big time David versus Goliath.
This is
But
big.
yeah, I want to go. I want to see the Bengals, man. But Kansas City, we
You
got, I want to see the Bengals, but we all know
okay?
Kansas City.
Okay.
That's what a fan, NFL fan wants to see. But coming from like, we all know football. We obviously know who's on the other side.
I was gonna say,
Kansas
man.
City, Kansas City and San Francisco would be an awesome rematch. Nice rematch. But
You know what's
but
crazy?
I
I
want to see
think
the
it'd be
Bengals.
more of a dominance this time around. I mean, maybe I'm maybe wrong because the defense is weaker on the Niners side, but I think it'd be more dominance on the Chiefs side. Bro, imagine a Bengals Niners matchup.
Oh my god.
That is the least
That's weird.
expected matchup.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
is weird.
Do you think this Joe Burrow led Bengals team versus Mahomes, Chiefs is kind of like the 2017 AFC Championship game, the Jaguars at Patriots?
Oh, whoa, you're saying the Bengals are like the one hit wonder like the Jags?
I mean, could they be? I mean,
Man. I
could
don't
they be?
know. That's what I'm saying. Like the Bengals, I still feel upset that they didn't get a O line to protect
Panay
Joe Burrow.
Sewell should have been there.
Yeah, but we wouldn't have seen maybe this kind of numbers from Jamar Chase.
No, they probably wouldn't even
I
make the
come
playoffs, honestly, to be
Yeah,
honest.
without Jamar Chase. But if they could get him some protection, Bengals could be there for the running. But they are in a tough division. AFC North is brutal. So maybe why I want to see him in the Super Bowl now because if he doesn't get another shot, it's gonna suck not seeing Joe Burrow in the playoffs.
Just saying, man, it's an insane comparison, though. Like the one year the
Mm.
Jags had it good. I'm not calling Joe Burrow Blake Bortles. Do not get it twisted. I'm not calling him that. I'm saying he had that one good year where he was able to get to the championship game and force almost to be a game change. The Super Bowl could have been Jaguars Eagles. It was very close to being
That would have been
Jaguars
weird too.
Eagles. That is ugly. But so I'm asking, is this like that or is it a lot better?
Mm, no, because the Jaguars never really had an offense that year, and it's in this league, you in the NFL league, you need to produce numbers, you need to score, and it looks like Cincinnati has that already. They just need to put a line, and their defense is not that bad either.
And,
So no,
and
I don't.
I don't want to hear you disrespecting Alan Hearns, Corey Grant, Marquise Lee, Keelan Cole. I don't want you disrespecting those guys because they're talented. Okay, damn it, they waited to the AFC Championship game. How dare you, sir?
Hold on,
Okay,
let me charge this real quick.
go for it. The way you can hear me and anybody that's watching right now, I do have the Chiefs beating the Bengals. There's no disrespect to Joe Burrow, no disrespect to Joe Mixon, um, to Jamar Chase, to Tyler Boyd, to T. Higgins. I mean, it's just you saw the Super Bowl, possibly the Super Bowl winner out of last night's main event. Yeah, that's what you saw. Is that I was saying the winner of that game is going to go to the Super Bowl. regardless if it's Tennessee or Bengals who they face the following week. You have to put the respect in Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill. You got to put the respect to Andy Reid. You don't have to put respect to Jackson Mahomes. Nobody cares about him. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
Oh my god! I think that's the one thing I hate about Kansas City, and he's not even on part of the damn team.
It's the quarterback's brother.
Yeah,
but respect to that team, the Chiefs Kingdom. They are coming back for their 4th straight AFC Championship hosting, which has only happened apparently Andy Reid's the first man to do it twice with the Eagles and now the Chiefs. But the Eagles were not as dominant as what these Chiefs are. God, man, it's just gonna be. I feel bad because we're like, no offense to the Niners, no offense to the Bengals, but unless they do this an upset or keep it really close, that weekend of the championship games is not gonna be good as this 4 games we had.
No, but what if they are though? That is crazy. Like to even think, what if the Bengals knock off Kansas City?
Oh,
that wouldn't that be a storyline going into the offseason? That'd be so crazy for Kansas City.
And remember, you only got a few number of years of cap space with this roster before you have to really change things around. And Travis Kelce isn't young. Yeah.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Like, man, this if they get upset, dang. Granted, maybe the chances of Kansas City losing, you think it's like 40 below at least 40 or 30% of them, like 60 to 40 maybe.
It's very low, bro. Like it's very low. Yeah. Like I got like 80-20 for Chiefs to beat the Bengals, but only because they've been here before. Let's be honest. Like there's something of a difference when you've been there before, when you've been to now for your 4th straight championship game, and
it helps.
Like the confidence, but don't. Joe Burrow swag. I mean, Joe Burrow swag is real. Like, and he was just in a national championship game himself. And this from being a college football fan, like your entire life. You know how big just even getting to the national championship is. Like, and Joe Burrow had the best year ever for a QB at the time. Okay, you have Niners and Chiefs going to the Super Bowl year. You're looking at a Super Bowl 54 rematch. I'm looking at the Rams versus Chiefs at a Monday night 2018 football rematch.
That's crazy.
and if you recall, that is still dubbed to this day the greatest Monday night football game ever, where both teams scored a combined total of over 100 points.
I was like, I think they ran out of fireworks there.
It was
in LA. I remember that. It was crazy.
It was in the Coliseum.
Yeah,
it was 54-51, and it was madness. It was Mahomes' rookie year. It was Jared Goff of all people. Like,
I think it was Mahomes' first year starting.
Yes, it was first year starting. You're right. Yeah. That's what I mean by that, because it's second year overall. But like I know we've seen Niners and Chiefs, and I'm not feeling that because I've seen it already, and I feel like it's gonna be even worse this time around. Because I think even the Chiefs defense is better than what it was 2 years ago. Right now.
Let me ask you this: Who are you most disappointed of not making it to the Super Bowl?
Aaron fucking Rodgers. Aaron fucking Rodgers. I'm not disappointed that Tom Brady didn't make it because I didn't think he would. Aaron Rodgers was my pick to go to the Super Bowl, get the fucking W, and then leave Green Bay and say, hell yeah, 2 rings, bitch.
I wasn't really maybe disappointed in Tom, but I wanted to see Tom versus Jimmy. I wanted to see that.
We can still get that. I mean, it's not like we can't get it.
But I mean, because that's to go to the Super Bowl, and yes, Tom Brady's already older, but it would have been cool to see like Jimmy versus Tom. But you gotta feel sad for good old Aaron Rodgers, because it was his last dance there.
It was. That's what I'm saying. He's my biggest disappointment. You're the guy that some people claim is the MVP, not my MVP. And then you get the number 1. Seed, you get the bye, you heal up your COVID toe to the best of its abilities. You get a lot of your weapons back that were out on your defensive side, and you choke. I mean, honestly, like no, like again, I get the Niners defense is underrated. They're really good. Like they've upset the Cowboys, not the Packers. They upset the Rams prior to that. But come on, you're Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah,
There are people out there called you GOAT or BOAT, best player of all time, and you come out and this is your performance? Fuck no, fuck
but
no,
but
no. You're
shit.
better than that.
I mean, Aaron Rodgers has only been to has only had one
One.
Super Bowl. So when people say that he's one of the best, that then how is like these guys that have obviously he's better than Eli Manning, right?
Better than Big Ben.
But Eli Manning has two Super Bowls. So
Over the
like
GOAT.
yeah. So like I don't. Yes, Aaron Rodgers is good, but
Aaron Rodgers
to me
will
to me
get
it's
for
let's
that like comparison. It's going to
yeah
be majority of the resume of the regular season side because fuck
yeah.
Eli's is short as hell. Eli's in regular season, like no disrespect. And by the way, I don't think he's a Hall of Famer. And I know that's crazy conversation. There's people that you probably disagree, but I don't think Eli is a Hall of Famer. Aaron Rodgers, for what his regular season status, um, not really his postseason. I mean, kind of like that was kind of my argument for Peyton too. Like he's a Hall of Famer, right? But because of his regular season stats, it has nothing to do mainly with his postseason. Postseason, we've seen Peyton not be the great Peyton Manning at times. He's down to what, 4 Super Bowls? He's 2-4, right? Is that correct?
Yeah,
Or 2-2? Sorry. So,
but he beat my Bears, so I would know that one.
well, well.
But I mean, but I was gonna, but like this is a weird. I'm not. I mean, it'll be. It's a weird. It'll probably be weird in Green Bay for a couple of days going into free agency. Because you don't know if Aaron Rodgers is gonna come back.
You don't, man. He doesn't want to be part of a rebuild. And there's a lot of people up for like, you can't franchise everybody. You probably won't be able to franchise Devontae Adams. I don't think he's going to sign that. I don't think
No,
he's
he's
going to
gonna
want
want a
to.
payday. He's
Yeah,
gonna
so
want a big
like
payday.
you better sign him and respect him because he's a fucking fantastic athlete. Let me ask you this before we let you go. Before I start talking about UFC 270, what is your prediction for Aaron Rodgers? Where does he go?
Man, I was just actually listening to Pat McAfee right before we got on
I'm gonna
his
listen to him
podcast.
after this. I'm gonna listen to them after this.
So so Pat McAfee was saying that why not the Colts? You know how Pat McAfee used to play for the Colts, but I
I
mean
like it. I actually like that.
it makes sense because they're not happy with their quarterback situation there in Indy, and Aaron Rodgers playing indoors in Indiana. I mean in Indianapolis, and then
Lucas Oil.
uh yeah, and then Pittsburgh. They have a good defense. They have some weapons, but I don't know.
Does he want to babysit the children, the TikTokers?
Probably, probably not.
Like Juju. Juju's a free agent, but is he gonna want him back? Is he gonna want to take care of Chase Claypool, who can't fucking know what's more important, a taunt or a fucking,
And
ball to the middle? Like,
and we all heard that Aaron Rodgers is probably like one of the hardest teammates to play with because he needs to trust you before you start throwing you the ball a little bit more.
maybe it'll be good for the TikTokers. Maybe it'll make them more mature and more ready. Because I don't know though, because you had a legend like Big Ben. Like regardless of what you think of Big Ben as a man or where he was in his career at the time, the fucking guy had 2 rings. He led that team to
Yeah,
playoff series, many divisional titles. Like, and you still were too worried about your glamour. So I mean, I know Art. And I think I forgot who I was talking about too. They were saying Denver. Denver's they're what they
yeah,
is
yeah.
going to go. But I don't know. I'll be honest. I love Cortland Sutton. I don't feel like he got the ball enough times. I'm not big on Jerry Judy. Try to talk.
We haven't we haven't really seen what Jerry Judy could do because he's always on the IR list.
He's IR
So
or he's got Teddy Bridgewater or Drew Lock.
yeah,
So God.
I mean they have a good defense there too. So they they have some good players too there on offense. So I don't know. Maybe what if he goes back to San Fran, goes back to the Bay Area? That'd be crazy. You never know. He might go to San Francisco. He
I
did
actually,
want to
I,
play there.
I actually tweeted that the other night. I was saying, what if he pulls a Kevin Durant and goes to the Niners?
Oh
Hey,
man,
if you can get Jimmy G shipped off to Green Bay for him, or maybe you can convince the Niners give you Trey Lance, and then you can ship out Jimmy G to somewhere else. Like, hey, maybe because I don't trust Jordan Love. I don't really know. He had one performance against the Chiefs, and
they
he went to
played
bet on
like
that one.
dog water.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so I mean, who knows, man? I mean, Aaron Rodgers' Sweet Six is going to be really very interesting. I don't know if
Wait,
Green Bay keeps him.
it's crazy to think though. At the beginning of the year, this is what we were talking about, and it's the end, almost the end of the year, and this is the same thing that we're still talking about. You know,
Do you think his
shoot, man.
vaccination status is going to be an issue for one of these teams?
Well, maybe he can't play in New York.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, no, I don't think the
Oh,
Giants.
oh
Like, that's
no,
Giants. I'm saying, like,
no,
you think like one of these like GMs is going to be like, I don't know, man. Because what if like California gets a little stricter, or because California has been really strict as well as New York. What if it's like one of these teams is just like, I don't know.
because honestly, it's just being indoors. So that would only mean whenever they're film studying or they're in the facility working out, because obviously football's inside, it's outdoors. So, but like, um, that would be kind of weird. Because what if he go what just to say he goes to New York, and you know how they still have that rule
Kyrie can't
where
play.
yeah, and because it's indoor, and so what if he's like working out or something? He can't work out. He can't do some.
That would be
He
weird.
can't be in the film room. Yeah, that'd be so weird. So I don't know.
So we'll see, man. We'll see overall. I mean, but what a fantastic 4 games we had. Fucking divisional round. Man, conference championship
We're
games.
spoiled.
You for real. Conference championship games. You have to step up. You
Yeah,
gotta
gotta
step
live
up
up to
now
the hype now.
because you let. I saw Titans Chiefs. Oh no, I saw Titans Bills, and I saw um Rams and the fuck did they beat? The Packers. I'm stupid. We're all talking about Aaron Rodgers this time. And that's not the matchups we're getting. We're getting completely different underdogs coming in. Well, respect to them, respect to the offense of the Bengals, respect to the defense of the Niners. Oh, Alex, man, I can't wait. Thank you for your time, bro. I know you gotta hop out because you do not got nothing for me on this UFC talk I'm about to have right now. Totally respect that. I understand, brother. But
I'm your NFL guy. I'm your football guy.
absolutely, man. And you got anything you want to say? Any plugs you want to shout out to the people before I move on?
Um, just catch me on my Instagram. If, like I said, I will probably post a little bit more. I got my buddy's wedding this Saturday, so you could catch it on Alex underscore De La Cruz underscore 54.
And what about that other page you have? And are we still pushing that one,
Oh,
or we're taking a
it's
pause a little bit?
we're taking a little pause because we just are gonna start making shirts now. You just gotta
Ooh,
crank it for me.
I should have worn the shirt you made me for Christmas, man. I look clean, bro. It's clean. I wore. Okay, before we go off, and that's like all personal. Is it red or pink? I said it's pink, and I'm fine with it. But
It's red. It's supposed to be
okay,
red.
okay, because it feels like pink as hell. But I'm okay, and
Yes,
I'm okay with it.
yeah.
I'll rock it. I'll fucking rock it. I just wanted to know.
But we'll be making some marble shirts like that too, so it'll be pretty cool.
All right.
Start
Next time
pushing
you're
the
on,
merch.
I'll wear it, and so that way we can definitely push that out there. But anyways, thanks, Alex, man. I appreciate you hopping on for this one, man. You have a good night, brother.
You too, man. Be careful.
Peace.
Bye bye.
All right, guys. So overall, that was NFL talk with Alex, man. Fucking hour. We could talk football all day. Like it's just fucking insane. But now I'm gonna talk about real quick the UFC 270 championship matchups. I didn't watch the whole fights because we had NFL going on that same day. But man, UFC 270, Francis Ngannou defending his title, undisputed title fight against Cyril Gane. And then you had before that Brandon Moreno defending his title in the trilogy matchup against Davison Figueiredo, Dulce de Guerra. But man, I wanted Art. I want somebody to be on here, but it's okay, man. I'm hyped about this fight. So like it's fucking let's go. So anyway, let's start with the main event. Francis Ngannou powerhouse. If you've seen his highlights, like he's just a machine. In his 4 fights prior to dethroning Stipe Miocic, he went in there in a combination of 2 minutes, 4 fights, combination of 2 minutes. He fucking killed them all. Curtis Blades, Cain Velasquez, Junior Dos Santos, Rosenstruck, Jairzinho Rosenstruck. I mean, he fucked them up. I mean, seriously, like, no joke. Like, he went in there and just murdered it. And then he goes into the Stipe fight, powerhouse, but calmer than his first fight with him, because in his first fight he was a little aggressive, got taken down, got gassed out, was beaten by decision. Wasn't the same for that fight. And then his following fight with Derek Lewis, patience was key in that fight. When he beat Stipe Miocic, patience. He took his time. He wasn't rushing in. He wasn't gassing out, and then he killed him. I mean, he beat Stipe Miocic. He knocked him out. Fucking made him limp. His leg all fucking contorted. Nasty. This fight, we didn't know. Francis Ngannou went into this fight with a torn MCL. Ligaments in the knee getting torn is huge for an athlete. It is huge. It is almost your career at times. Yes, doctors can fix it. 9-month recoveries, all well now, but it could be your career. So we're talking about here. And my God, I mean, just the fact that we see Ngannou come into this fight against a Muay Thai master in freaking Ciryl Gane. Guys, you need to check out Ciryl Gane's training, his fights. He's crisp, bro. Like, if you don't know, like, he's clean with the kicks, the elbows, the spins, the strikes. He's clean with it. So the first 2 rounds, Ciryl Gane is, keeping his distance, not allowing Francis to hit him and anything like that. Weak check leg kicks, it's okay. He's just doing it, but he's getting the point winning, right? Like, and at the point, like at the end of the first round, Francis Ngannou is already gassed, in my opinion. Like, he's breathing out of his mouth, like, and he's just not the same. It doesn't look good for the champion. And then in the third round, you see something different. You see something off. You see something you weren't expecting. A takedown. Not just any regular takedown, not a double leg or a single leg, not any sambo wrestling, like off, just off the cage. It was he caught a kick and then just lifted him and then just dropped him. He drove him to the ground, and it's just, you couldn't believe it. It wasn't what you were expecting. It wasn't. Francis Ngannou went to the ground game. And if you know him, if you've seen his career, the only time he's on the ground is when he's pounding away on his opponents. He doesn't go for the takedowns. That's not for who Francis Ngannou is. He doesn't go for the double legs, the wizard kicks, and he doesn't. Like, this isn't him. That back over the shoulder, like, this ain't him. And he turned it around, and then he just smothered him. He wasn't really doing much damage on the top, but Ciryl Gane couldn't get out. And mind you, Ngannou's like ground game is very, very generic, because he had him inside control. And there's a lot of things you can do inside control. You could get crucifix on him and then just pound away. You can defer yourself and move yourself, like, win the battle and get yourself on full mount, go for an arm bar. You can, slide into an arm triangle. You do a lot of things. But unfortunately with Ngannou, it's just not ground game. That's just not his specialty. At one point, after one of the takedowns, the double leg takedown, actually, which would happen in the fourth round, he got caught in a Kimura, but thankfully he was in a better position than Gane was. But anyways, the wrestling won Ngannou rounds 3, 4, and 5, and Gane was gassed after 3. Like, after the third round, it was just he had nothing in him. You saw the will of Gane, and it's just insane, because if you follow Ciryl Gane, even though he's only had 10 MMA fights, but you look at all his history with his Muay Thai fights, his kickboxing, you know that he's better than that. And then it wasn't his day. And Francis Ngannou, for all the the turmoil, the fight he's had his entire life to escape so much evil and dark things in his life and his, going into his career and just finding freedom. Um, look up his history, guys. It's very moving to see where this man was just less than 10 years ago. I mean, just to where his evolution since, like where this man was, he might not have been here if other things have happened, and to where he is now. And just to see the performance he put on to beat a guy like Cyril Gane, his toughest opponent by far, because and there's no disrespect to Stipe, it's no disrespect to the former champions that Francis has fought it and beaten, but this is a guy who was his training partner, a guy who many his coaches would say got the best of him, and just to do what he did is fucking unbelievable. And you gotta give him a lot of praise for what he's done. And then when you look at just the drama coming into this fight, like he doesn't want to fight for 500, 600K anymore because he's a heavyweight champion. He's marketable. He's a beast. I mean, he's representing Nigeria, or he's representing Cameroon. He's representing the French. He's marketable. He's your heavyweight champion. And when you're the UFC heavyweight champion, and any like former fighter or any fan should tell you like that is your biggest moneymaker, regardless of your name, because you are a beast and people will expect you to come in for the fights, for the knockouts and shit like that. Doesn't always happen, as proven this past Saturday, but still, greatness. You see greatness there. I don't know what's next for Francis Ngannou. I don't even know what's next for Cyril Gane, because Cyril Gane probably needs to take some time and then just rebound, maybe a fight with Curtis Blades. Who knows? We'll see what happens. But Francis Ngannou is your undisputed heavyweight champion, and make no mistake about it. As a fan, Dana White, please pay this man. Pay this man. I know you weren't there. You're being petty. You didn't put the strap on him after the fight. You had Mike Maynard do it. Pay this man. Like, fuck your pride. Fuck all this shit. Like, you got, like, these fighters deserve to be paid, man. Like, I put a stat up on the Poodle Beach Sports Instagram page at Poodle Beach Sports. And I got this from Andre Hale off of Twitter. Andres Hale, he's a big sports aficionado, man. He's definitely fights for equality, for pay, gender, all this stuff, man. Like, he fights for the kids and stuff. Anyways, give him some props there because how amazing he is, along with WWE wrestler Big E. But anywho, so he put up this picture that I shared on Instagram. It lists the payouts, right? Just for like strictly fighting. It's not sponsorships, it's not fight bonuses and all this stuff. The entire UFC 270 card, it came out to a payout of $1.8 million. If you compare that to the Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder fight alone, the third fight, they made $50 million between the two men versus the entire fight card. Ridiculous. And you wonder why Ngannou doesn't want to fight for free in his eyes, 500, 600K. Why he doesn't want to cite 8-fight contract deals where he is stuck fighting for the same number as he goes on. This is why we don't have John Jones fighting. It has nothing to do with his legal issues. Let's keep that aside. It's because you won't pay John Jones. Why? And I wish more fighters would unionize and want to and fight for it. Make noise. Why are you allowing Jake Paul to fight your battles for you? Like you see the partnerships they have now with Project Rock, ESPN, who is raising pay-per-view prices when they sold for what, like $4 billion? The Fertitta sold it for $4. Like, why aren't y'all seeing any of this money? Why aren't you fighting for it? In Ngannou, we need more champions to fight for the money. Conor McGregor, he gets like 7-8 figures. He should fight for more money because he's such a great fucking amazing star. Like, he should be fighting every time he gets in the cage for like 100 mil. Like, he really does. Like, just looking at what he's done. So when you're a heavyweight champion saying, why aren't you paying me 7 figures? Like, you're not even doing that much for him. Like, that's shit. That's shit right there. Sorry, I'm rambling. I'm talking about the fights, but you know, I feel a certain way, man. Like I want to see these guys get paid. Like they deserve it. Like you're gonna put your body on the line, like to bleed, to get your bones broken, to ligaments torn, get your head busted, your ears cauliflowered as fuck. Pay them, Dana. Don't be shy about it, man. Just do it. All right. Now that I got my rant out of the way, last fight I'm going to talk about, the last thing before I close out the show. Thank you for everyone who's listening this far in, an hour 10. Thank you guys. Brandon Moreno versus Deiveson Figueiredo. God, what a fight. It was a fantastic fight. Well deserves the fight of the night. Not on there. For anyone who's for saying this is a robbery, Moreno got robbed, or anything like that, I disagree. I completely disagree with you. Deiveson Figueiredo did enough, even if it's in a point fighting match, and he did enough to beat the guy that is the champion, Brandon Moreno. In my opinion, I scored it rounds 1, 3, and 5 for Figueiredo. I think he stole round 3. First of all, let me tell you, like in the last like 20 seconds, when he dropped him and that he was going for the submission, he stole that round. Like Figueiredo, I mean, Moreno could have had it. Easy could have had it. But it wasn't meant to be because he got clipped. He got clipped, and then Moreno didn't really adjust to the leg kicks of Figueiredo. The leg kicks, those calf kicks, they're fucking precise, and they slowed him down. And starting in the third round past that, you saw Moreno being more stagnant. He just stood there. He, took the hits. He was, I mean, he looked calm. He looked confident. I love the swag that Moreno had, but he, Figueiredo, thanks to his coaches, Henry Cejudo joining that group, they were able to pick apart, in my opinion, to what they needed. And he had 3 knockdowns on Moreno to Moreno's 0 on Figueiredo. And he had takedowns, 2 or 3, and they were crucial. And so I gave it to him. Like, yeah, like, there's that saying, you got to beat the champ to be the champ. Well, it's not a robbery, and decisions. Sometimes that you beat them by points. It's per round basis. This is how mixed martial art is. It's not, oh, well, he did the most damage overall. If that was the case, Anderson Silva beat Michael Bisping years ago. There's a lot of things. If that was the case, I don't know. It's a terrible example. So, anyways, I'm just going to use the Anderson Silva Michael Bisping fight. Figueiredo did enough. And now this sets up a big possible matchup. Now we can possibly see Figueiredo, Duceguera versus Moreno, Baby Assassin, in a quadrilogy. Their 4th fight, since the first fight ended in a draw. Second fight, Moreno finishes Figueiredo. Third fight, Figueiredo decisions Moreno. We could see potentially a big, huge 4th matchup. And I said, let's do it. Fuck it. In Brazil, in Mexico, wherever y'all want. Let's do it. Let's see that fight, because we need to know once and for all who is the better man. And look, Moreno thinks he won the fight. Figgy believes he won the fight. The judges thought Figgy won. A lot of MMA Twitter thinks Moreno won. We'll see. There's a funny picture of Joe Rogan's face after the announcements. I think his face looked like it was saying like, what? Figgy won? Really? They all scored it for him? Like, he probably thought Moreno won. So I need to listen to Joe Rogan's thoughts on it. But God, it was such a crazy fight weekend, and added on with the whole football games. We are spoiled as fans, sports fans. Just so we should be thankful for any time we get to see these kind of performances. But guys, that's all I got for tonight. I'm fucking winded just talking about myself right now. But I appreciate for everyone who is watching, for everyone who's listening. Thank you so much for all that. Guys, follow the podcast at Boodle Beaches Sports on Instagram. Follow the podcast on Twitter at Boodle. at Pinches Sports Pod. Everything at the bottom out right here on the screen as well, in case for those who are watching this. For Alex de la Cruz, I am Jose Garza. We are Puros Pinches. Woo! I am tired. We are Puro Pinches Sports, and we are out.